Hey everyone, and welcome to Under Baobab Skies. Tonight, we're embarking on an incredible journey, venturing deep into the heart of Botswana. Imagine a place where the wind whispers ancient tales across the sun-scorched plains, where the vast Kalahari sands stretch endlessly, and the very earth hums with the rhythm of life. Here, away from the bustling cities, men and women rise with the first pale light of dawn, their eyes scanning the distant horizons, their hearts deeply attuned to the pulse of their cattle and the profound secrets of the savannah. Now, let's talk about the Tswana herder. Their life isn't dictated by the ticking hands of a clock or the pages of a calendar. Oh no, it's measured in something far more profound. The deliberate steps of their animals, the comforting shade offered by a lone acacia tree, and the silent, subtle warnings carried on the wind. Every single dawn presents a choice for these resilient individuals, a choice to endure, to guide their precious herds, to simply survive another day in this beautiful yet challenging landscape. And with every decision, there are consequences. The anxiety of a lost cow, the ever-present threat of a hidden predator, or the watchful gaze of a rival from across the dunes. It's a life lived with constant awareness, a testament to their unwavering spirit. Just pause with me for a moment. Can you almost feel the gentle warmth of a crackling fire as the vast African night breathes around us? Can you hear the soft, rhythmic crunch of hooves on dry earth, the gentle, comforting lowing of cattle, and perhaps, just perhaps, the distant murmur of water in a hidden pan? These aren't just sounds. They are the very heartbeat of this extraordinary land, weaving together a tapestry of life that has thrived for centuries. It's a symphony of survival, played out under a canopy of endless stars, reminding us of the deep connection between humans, animals, and the environment. The Kalahari is a land of fascinating paradoxes. It's both a generous provider and a relentless punisher. It offers endless grass, precious water sources, and vast spaces for herds to roam free. Yet, the sun can be absolutely merciless, and a devastating drought can descend without any warning, turning the landscape into a challenging test of endurance. But the herder moves through this world with an incredible blend of patience, sharp intuition, and a quiet strength that has been honed over generations. They read the sky not just as a weather forecast, but as an old, trusted friend. The intricate patterns of the clouds, the subtle changes in the wind's direction, even the scent of the soil. All these elements tell them vital stories about hidden waterholes, the movements of predators, and the safest, most bountiful paths their herd must follow. It's an ancient wisdom, passed down through touch and observation, a language understood only by those who truly belong to this land. By the end of our time together today, I promise you, LL, have a deeper appreciation for how intimately life and livestock are intertwined in this part of the world. You'll understand how every single step, every breath taken in the Kalahari profoundly shapes the rhythm of a herder's day. It truly is a life defined by tireless vigilance, by the kind of sun-baked endurance that only comes from generations of adapting to this harsh beauty, and by a deep, almost unspoken knowledge of the land that surrounds them. The morning light grows stronger now, and the herder and their cattle are already moving, their legs stepping carefully and expertly over the hard, resilient earth. Birds scatter with the first signs of rising heat. The wind carries the earthy scent of grass and the distant, wild aroma of game. Each new day here is a test, a challenge to overcome, and yet there's an undeniable beauty in its simplicity, a silent, powerful poetry in the endless, graceful movement of bodies across the vast, golden sands. For centuries, the Tswana people have meticulously passed down this invaluable knowledge, It's not just about survival. It's about a way of life, a legacy. They teach the precise, intricate way to read a hoofprint, not just what animal made it, but how long ago and at what speed. They understand the subtle signs of illness in cattle, often long before anyone else would notice. And they know the secret watering holes, often hidden from outsiders, vital lifelines in this arid landscape. To simply watch a herder at work is to witness tradition breathing, a living, vibrant legacy as essential and alive as the very wind that sweeps across the sand. It's a powerful connection to history, to heritage, and to the living world around them. The herder's connection, you see, isn't just to their animals. It's to the land itself. Every single thorn bush, every gentle dune, every resilient tree tells a story. And the herder learns to listen, truly listen, to these tales. Mistakes here are incredibly costly, carrying severe consequences, yet each challenge faced and overcome teaches profound lessons in patience, builds incredible endurance, and instills a deep, unwavering respect for the unyielding, magnificent world around them. As the sun climbs higher in the sky, the day truly begins in earnest, a timeless cycle that will repeat itself, day after day, until the sky eventually fades to a magnificent gold once more. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey. If you found this glimpse into the Tswana herder's life as captivating as I did, please give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. We've got so much more to explore together. You are now under Baobab skies, and the story begins now. By the end of our journey today, you'll see the world through the eyes of a Tswana herder. You'll understand how they track their precious cattle across vast landscapes, how they survive the relentless grip of drought, and how they defend their livestock from cunning predators and rival clans. This isn't just a story about survival. It's a story about a profound connection to the land and a way of life forged in the heart of the Kalahari. The first light spills across the horizon, painting the sand dunes in waves of shimmering gold and deep amber. The cattle begin to stir, their massive bodies rising from the earth. They nudge one another, a silent communication passing through the herd as their hooves sink softly into the sand. Moving among them is the herder, a quiet and reassuring presence. He murmurs their names, using soft cues and gentle touches, speaking a language that seems to resonate with the earth itself. Each day begins with a meticulous inspection. The herder moves from one animal to the next, his experienced hands and sharp eyes checking for any sign of injury, illness, or distress. In this world, every single cow matters profoundly. Each one is a vital thread in the intricate tapestry that supports families, sustains communities, and carries the weight of heritage. The morning chores are performed with a slow, methodical rhythm. Water, a precious commodity, is drawn from distant pans. Fodder is carefully collected from the resilient acacia trees that dot the landscape. And the herd is counted, not once, but again and again, until every number is confirmed and every animal is accounted for. The heat rises with astonishing speed. By mid-morning, sweat already beads on skin darkened and weathered by years under the African sun. Yet the herder walks with steady, unhurried steps, guiding the cattle toward the promised grazing lands that lie beyond the immediate horizon. A fine cloud of dust swirls around their hooves and his sandals, a constant companion on this daily pilgrimage. The horizon itself seems to shimmer and dance in the intensifying heat. In this landscape, every shadow holds a potential threat. It could conceal a lion lying in wait, or a pack of hyenas watching from a distance. Every sound, the sudden snap of a dry branch, The abrupt silence of the birds is noted, analyzed, and committed to memory. This is a world of constant vigilance. Let's pause for a moment. Imagine the scene later as night falls. A fire crackles gently, its flames pushing back the immense darkness. The night breathes around us, cool and vast. Listen closely, and you can hear the soft murmur of the herd settling down, the sound of the wind sweeping across the dunes. The world here is a paradox, both profoundly dangerous and deeply familiar. It moves to a rhythm that feels older than memory itself, and the herders' feet, walking this land day after day, have learned to keep pace with it. The paths they follow are not drawn on maps. They are etched into the herder's mind, passed down through generations in the stories of the elders. These ancient tales are living guides, detailing the location of vital resources and warning of hidden dangers. Waterholes, the lifeblood of the herd, are sacred places. They are oases of life in a parched land, shared not only with other herders, sometimes rivals, but also with the diverse wildlife of the Kalahari. The knowledge of these waterholes, their permanence, their seasonal fluctuations, their exact location is the difference between life and death. A single misstep, a forgotten water pan, a calf accidentally left behind, can create ripples of disaster that threaten the entire herd. By mid-morning, the sun is a relentless force, burning down from a vast, cloudless sky. The cattle's pace naturally slows, their movements becoming more deliberate as they conserve energy. The herder wipes the sweat from his brow, his eyes never ceasing their scan of the horizon, always searching for that flicker of movement, that subtle sign of danger. Life in the Kalahari is an unforgiving test of will. Shade is a rare and precious luxury, and every moment of rest is a gift to be cherished. This land relentlessly tests one's patience, endurance, and, most importantly, knowledge. The herder has learned to read the landscape with all his senses, with his eyes, his ears, and even with an instinct that feels like it comes from the heart. This rhythm of life continues, a cycle as old as the dunes themselves. Step, observe, guide, rest, repeat. It is in these early hours, under the full force of the sun, that the connection between the man and his herd, between the human and the land, is at its most potent and visible. Here, life is stripped down to its essentials. It is raw, it is honest, and it is absolutely unforgiving. And yet, within this demanding rhythm, there is a quiet, profound joy. There is a sense of purpose and belonging that no bustling city or crowded marketplace could ever hope to replicate. It's a deep contentment found in duty, in connection, and in the simple, powerful act of living in harmony with the world. This deep understanding of the environment is what allows the herder to track his cattle over incredible distances. He doesn't just see hoofprints, he reads a story in the sand. He can tell how long ago the herd passed, their direction of travel, and even their pace. Was the herd calm, or were they spooked by a predator? The depth of the prints, the spacing between them, the way the sand is displaced, all these details are clues. He also reads the signs left by other animals, the behavior of birds, the tracks of jackals following the herd, or the sudden alarm calls of a kudu, can all signal the location or condition of his cattle. He listens to the wind, knowing it can carry the scent of his animals or the sound of their lowing from miles away. This isn't just tracking. It's a deep, intuitive conversation with the ecosystem. Surviving drought is perhaps the greatest challenge. When the rains fail and the water holes dry up, the herder must rely on centuries of accumulated knowledge. He knows of secret, hidden water sources, so-called siphon springs, where water can be drawn from deep within the sand. or specific plants whose roots store life-giving moisture. He guides his herd to resilient grasses that can survive long dry spells. In dire times, the herd may have to travel for days without water, and it's the herder's skill in managing their energy and finding sustenance that sees them through. He makes difficult decisions, sometimes sacrificing weaker animals to save the core of the herd, ensuring the survival of the lineage. This is a brutal but necessary calculus for life in a land of scarcity. And then there is the constant threat of predators. Lions, leopards, and hyenas are masters of this domain, and defending the herd requires courage, intelligence, and strategy. During the day, the herder's presence is often enough to deter an attack, but at night, the danger escalates. The cattle are brought into a temporary enclosure or kraal, often made from thorny acacia branches. This formidable barrier is the first line of defense. The herder, and often his dogs, will sleep nearby, their senses on high alert. A single distressed low from a cow is enough to bring them to their feet in an instant. They understand predator behavior intimately, where they hunt, when they hunt, and what signs betray their presence. It's a chess match played for the highest stakes, where one moment of inattention can lead to loss. Conflict with rival clans over resources like water and grazing land is another reality, while often governed by a complex set of traditional rules and courtesies. Tensions can and do flare, especially during times of drought. A herder's reputation, his strength, and the size of his herd all play a role in these interactions. Disputes are typically resolved through negotiation between elders, but a lone herder must always be prepared to stand his ground and defend his clan's traditional rights to a particular territory or waterhole. It's a delicate balance of diplomacy and strength, navigating a complex social landscape that is just as challenging as the physical one. As the sun begins its descent, casting long shadows across the savannah, the herder guides his cattle back towards the safety of the camp. The day's journey is almost complete. The air cools, and a sense of calm settles over the land. The cattle, weary but content, move with a familiar rhythm. Looking at this scene, you realize that the Tswana herder is more than just a keeper of livestock. He is a guardian of a tradition, a master of an ancient science, and a living library of ecological knowledge. His life is a testament to resilience, a powerful story of how humanity can not only survive, but thrive in one of the world's most challenging environments by fostering a relationship of deep respect and understanding with the natural world. The sun now hangs directly above us, a blazing eye in a cloudless sky, baking the earth into a hard, cracked canvas. Here in the Kalahari, the heat radiates off the sand in shimmering waves, blurring the distant dunes into a mirage, a watery illusion in this parched land. The cattle move with a deliberate, slow rhythm, their hooves stirring up fine dust that rises in pale, ghostly clouds around their legs. For the herder, every step is a careful calculation. He must guide the herd, conserve his own precious energy, and keep an unblinking eye fixed on the ever-shifting horizon. It's a testament to human resilience, a dance between survival and the elements. Each day in the Kalahari brings a gauntlet of challenges that test the very limits of endurance. Heat stroke is a silent, creeping enemy, finding its way into tired muscles and a weary mind. The herder feels it first as a dull weight in his head, a persistent dryness in his throat, a deep lethargy that threatens to slow even his most practiced, measured steps. But there is no choice but to continue. Water is far too scarce, and every pause must be carefully considered, measured against the remaining daylight and the distance to the next water source. The cattle depend on him. Their survival rests on his shoulders, just as he depends on the ancestral knowledge passed down through generations. And then there are the predators, ever present, often invisible, but always near. A hyena might be crouching just behind a dune, its intelligent eyes watching, calculating the perfect moment to strike. The shadow of a lion might pass silently over a distant ridge, a fleeting but potent reminder of the dangers that lurk. The herder is attuned to their habits. He knows the subtle rustle of grass that betrays a hidden presence, the telltale glint of eyes in the brush, the subtle break in the wind that carries a scent of danger. A single moment of distraction, a brief lapse in concentration, could allow a predator to claim a vulnerable calf. A single misstep could cascade into tragedy. Let's just pause here for a moment. Imagine the scene, the oppressive, radiating warmth, the slow, rhythmic thud of hooves on baked earth, the immense weight of responsibility pressing down on the herder's shoulders. This land does not forgive carelessness. It is a harsh teacher, but it rewards attentiveness, it rewards patience, and it rewards a deep, abiding respect for its power. The herder embodies this respect in every action, every decision. The midday sun is at its most relentless. Shade is a rare and precious gift, found only under the sparse, thorny branches of the acacia trees that dot these vast plains. The herder, with an instinct born of experience, guides his herd towards their scant shelter, offering a fleeting moment of respite from the punishing heat. The cattle huddle together, nuzzling at the trees, their great bodies seeking any relief they can find. The herder takes a moment for himself, drinking sparingly from a worn animal skin canteen. Each sip is rationed, a carefully measured dose of life-giving water. Each movement is economical, designed to conserve strength for the long hours still ahead. The terrain itself is an unforgiving obstacle course. Hardpan, earth-dense scrub, and ever-shifting sand dunes test the hooves of the cattle and the stamina of the man who leads them. Sharp stones and hidden thorns are a constant threat, capable of cutting into skin and hoof alike, turning a simple journey into a painful ordeal. Yet, even in this struggle, there is a strange, stark poetry. You can hear it in the soft thud of the hooves against the ground, a steady, hypnotic beat. You can feel it in the whisper of the wind as it glides over the sand. You can smell it in the air, the unique scent of sun-baked earth and dry, fragrant grass. These are the sensory markers of life out here, as essential and as defining as the water they so desperately seek. In these peak hours of heat, the herder's mind remains incredibly alert, even as his body begins to slow under the strain. He is in a state of constant decision-making. Which path offers the firmest footing? Which waterhole is most likely to hold water? And can they reach it before the sun begins to dip towards the horizon? How can he steer the herd away from potential danger without exhausting them in the process? There is absolutely no room for error. Experience is the herder's trusted guide. His deep-seated intuition is his compass, and the ancient, unchanging rhythm of the land is his metronome. Evenings are still a distant promise, hours away, but the first subtle warning signs of the changing day begin to appear. The birds alter their flight patterns, shifting in the sky. The shadows, once short and squat, begin to lengthen, stretching their dark fingers across the landscape. The intense, oppressive heat starts to waver just slightly, a subtle shift that only the most experienced would notice. The herder reads these subtle cues like a sacred text, interpreting their meaning with an unerring accuracy. Danger is never truly absent in the Kalahari. It merely moves quietly alongside him, a constant companion on this arduous journey. As the long day wears on, the herder continuously monitors not only his own strength, but also the condition of his charges. He notices the young calves beginning to lag behind, their youthful energy depleted by the heat. He sees the older cows starting to tire, their steps becoming heavier. A delicate balance must be maintained. He must urge them forward, keeping the herd moving, but without overexerting the weaker animals. It's a complex dance of endurance and empathy, a skill taught by the elders of his community and refined through countless journeys, just like this one. The land demands respect, the herd demands care, and the sun, in its majestic, unyielding power, dictates the pace of their lives. By mid-afternoon, every single step is an affirmation of his skill, his patience, and his profound connection to this place. The herder moves with a quiet, calm authority, commanding the respect of his herd through a deep understanding of their needs, rather than through force or aggression. He knows the signs that indicate water is nearby, a change in vegetation, the flight of certain birds. He knows the hidden thickets that can provide a few precious moments of shade. He can read the tracks of predators in the sand and knows which areas must be avoided at all costs. The day is undeniably harsh, a relentless trial of body and spirit. Yet, in every hardship, there is a lesson. In every challenge, there is learning. And every step is part of a rhythm that is older than memory itself, a timeless pulse connecting man, animal, and the vast, beautiful, and unforgiving Kalahari. As the sun sinks low, it paints the Kalahari sky in fiery shades of amber and crimson. The relentless heat of the day finally softens, giving way to a cool breeze that whispers through the dunes. You can almost feel it on your skin, a welcome relief after hours under the African sun. The cattle, sensing the change, slow their pace. Their long shadows stretch across the cracked, thirsty earth, a moving tapestry of life against the vast landscape. For the herder, every muscle aches with the day's labor, a deep, honest fatigue. But the work is far from over. Night in the Kalahari is beautiful, but it brings its own set of dangers. The herd cannot be left unguarded, not for a moment. Twilight descends, a magical time of quiet reflection and heightened awareness. The air fills with new sounds, the final calls of daytime birds, the rustle of unseen creatures in the distance. This is the signal that the night patrol is beginning, not for the herder, but for the predators. Lions, hidden in thickets, begin to stir. The high-pitched yip of hyenas carries from far-off dunes, and solitary jackals start to scavenge along the edges of the herd, ever opportunistic. The herder walks a careful, practiced circuit around the cattle, his staff a familiar weight in his hand, his ears attuned to every whisper of the wind, every snap of a twig. Let's just pause here for a moment. Imagine you're with him. The fire crackles, a small beacon of warmth and light in the growing darkness. The night breathes around you. Feel that subtle drop in temperature, the soft hush that falls over the land as the day's energy subsides. Breathe in the scent of cooling earth, a fragrance released from the sun-warmed soil. These are the moments when the herder's senses are most alive, when intuition becomes as sharp as a spear tip. It's in this quiet that the true rhythm of the Kalahari pulses, a steady, ancient heartbeat beneath the vast, star-dusted sky. As darkness deepens, the herd instinctively clusters together. It's a living fortress. The older, more experienced cattle form a protective ring around the young and vulnerable calves. Their movements are deliberate, guided by an instinct as old as these plains. The herder walks among them, his voice a low, soothing murmur. He's not giving commands. He's offering reassurance, speaking a language of trust and comfort that has been passed down through generations. A bond between man and beast that is the bedrock of their survival. The temperature drops sharply now. The sky, a velvet black canvas, is now dotted with 1,000,000 stars, scattered like embers from a celestial fire. The herder finds a slight rise in the terrain, a natural vantage point from which he can watch over the herd and the surrounding plains. From here, he is both guardian and observer, his eyes accustomed to the low-light scan for any sign of danger. Subtle rustle in the dry grass, the glint of eyes reflecting the faint moonlight, or a shift in the wind that might carry the scent of a predator. Patience is more than a virtue here. It's a tool of survival. Each passing hour demands unwavering attention. Every movement is calculated to minimize risk and conserve energy. The Kalahari at night is a master of deception. Shadows can conceal a lurking threat, and a profound silence can mask an approaching danger. Yet, in this constant vigilance, there is also a deep, profound peace. The herd is safe, the land is familiar, and the herder's presence is a quiet but powerful affirmation of order in the midst of this vast, untamed wilderness. It's a testament to the enduring human spirit. Let's pause again. Listen with the herder's ears. The fire crackles on. Can you hear it? The faint, mournful whine of distant hyenas, a sound that sends a shiver down the spine of the uninitiated. Hear the rustle of the wind as it moves through the sparse acacia trees, their thorns like skeletal fingers against the night. And beneath it all, the soft, lowing sounds of the resting cattle, a sound of contentment and security. These aren't just noises. They are the language of the landscape. A dialect understood deeply by the man who has walked these plains since dawn and will continue his watch until the moon itself sets. Throughout the long, cool hours of the night, the herder's vigilance is intertwined with reflection. His mind drifts over the day that has passed, the searing heat, the choking dust, the relentless, rhythmic march across the endless plains. He thinks, too, of the days to come, of the rains that are needed, of the health of his animals. It's here, in the quiet solitude of the night, that ancient rituals, inherited wisdom, and sharp instinct converge, creating the very rhythm that defines his life. Slowly, a faint line of grey appears on the eastern horizon. The first light of dawn begins its gentle creep across the sky, chasing away the darkness. The brilliant stars begin to fade, one by one, like dying embers. The air, still cool, holds the promise of the coming day's heat. The herd begins to stir, a collective sigh and shuffle as life returns to their limbs. The herder, silhouetted against the growing light, has stood his watch. His vigil has carried them safely through the night, maintaining that delicate, crucial balance between survival and exhaustion, between danger and safety, between patient stillness and decisive action. As the sun fully awakens, painting the clouds with strokes of pink and gold, he knows that another cycle is beginning. A new day brings a continuation of the same timeless tasker journey of sweat, sun, and unwavering, attentive care. This is the life of a Tswana cattle herder. It's a life of profound connection to the land, to his animals, and to the generations that walked this path before him. A life of hardship, yes, but also one of immense dignity and purpose. As the sun dips low, its golden light painting long, stretching shadows across the vast Kalahari, the world begins to transform. The heat of the day recedes, and in its place, a cool, quiet tension settles over the land. It's in this twilight hour that the first rustlings of predators reach the herder's ears. A subtle shift in the evening's symphony that only the truly attuned can decipher. Lions, the undisputed masters of stealth and ambush, begin to stir from their midday slumber. Their magnificent golden coats, so striking in the full light of day, now become the perfect camouflage. melting seamlessly into the tall, sun-bleached grass. Their eyes, reflective like molten amber, begin to scan the plains, tracking every flicker of movement in the fading light. They are a presence felt before they are seen. The cattle sense this change too. A low, uneasy murmur ripples through the herd, a collective hum of anxiety that travels from one animal to the next. The calves, instinctively sensing danger, huddle closer to their mothers, seeking the comfort and protection of the larger bodies around them. The older, more experienced cattle begin to form protective circles, their horns facing outward, a formidable wall of muscle and bone against the encroaching darkness. It's a primal, ancient defense, a behavior etched into their very being through generations of survival. In this high-stakes environment, vigilance isn't just a habit. It's the absolute bedrock of existence. The herder, a lone figure against the immense landscape, positions himself strategically on a dune ridge. Staff in hand, every motion he makes is deliberate, measured, and full of purpose. His eyes, trained by a lifetime of observation, scan the horizon, while his ears strain to catch the faintest whisper of paws moving over the soft sand. In these tense, drawn-out moments, the boundary between life and loss becomes incredibly narrow. Survival is no longer a matter of brute force, but is measured in intuition, patience, and the profound understanding of the world around him. And then she appears, the first lioness, moving with a silent, liquid grace that belies her immense power. Her muscles ripple beneath her tawny skin as she glides through the dusklit savanna, a ghost in the twilight. The herder's breath remains slow and even, a testament to his control. He begins to hum, a low, steady sound that carries on the breeze. It's a sound designed not to startle the predator, but to reassure his herd, a calm anchor in a sea of rising fear. Every step the lioness takes is a masterclass in precision. Each flick of her long, tufted tail seems to pose a silent question to the world. Who will prevail tonight? The dance has begun. As evening deepens into night, the soundscape of the Kalahari shifts once more. From the distance, the hyenas begin their eerie chorus, a sound of whoops and almost human-like laughter that echoes across the plains. It's a chilling sound, one that can unnerve even the most seasoned traveler. But to the herder, it is simply another piece of information. He notes every sound, the subtle rustle of grass that could be a stalking predator, the whisper of wind shifting the dunes, the soft, unsettled lowing of his cattle. The threats are many, and they come from all directions, but his knowledge is his shield. He has spent a lifetime studying these animals, and he understands predator behavior with an intimacy that feels almost like a sixth sense. He recognizes their patterns, anticipates their movements, and sees the subtle cues that would elude an untrained eye. Let's just pause here for a moment. Imagine the scene. The herder has built a small fire, and its flames crackle gently, a lone beacon of warmth and light in the immense darkness. The night breathes around them, a living entity. The sky has turned to a deep, star-dusted indigo, and the air carries the ancient, earthy scent of dust and cooling earth. Beneath it all, the rhythmic breathing of the herd forms a steady, living undercurrent, a sound of life in the quiet of the wild. In this profound quiet, the herder's presence is more than just a guard. It's a tether, connecting his cattle to safety and connecting this small, temporary community to the timeless rhythms of the land. From his vantage point on the ridge, he communicates with his herd without a single word. A subtle shift of his weight, a quiet tap of his staff on the hard-packed earthies are his signals. The herd responds instinctively, a synchronized movement honed by generations of watching, listening, and learning from their human protector. They shift their position, tightening their formation, a silent message back to the predators that they are not an easy target. The lioness, still crouched in the shadows, pauses. She is a patient hunter, an expert calculator of risk and reward. She senses the organized resistance, the presence of the herder, but she is not yet deterred. In this intricate game of patience and skill, no action is wasted. Every glance, every sound, every moment of stillness matters. Night edges ever closer, and the full, deep darkness of the Kalahari takes hold. The first stars emerge, pale and impossibly distant. They offer little light to the human eye, but for those who know how to read the sky, they are another tool, another guide. The herder remains vigilant, his focus absolute. He never allows the lure of fatigue, the heavy pull of sleep, to erode his attention. For him, the night is a stream of continuous data. Every one of his own heartbeats, every whispered gust of wind, every subtle shift in the herd's stance is a piece of the puzzle. And from this constant flow of information, he constructs a mental map of survival, navigating the dangers of the night second by second. His unwavering presence has its effect. The lioness, frustrated by the lack of a clear opportunity, by the solid wall of cattle and the watchful eye of their guardian, eventually melts back into the darkness. She hasn't given up, merely retreated to conserve energy for an easier hunt. The hyenas, ever the opportunists, remain. They are bold, but also cautious. They circle at a distance, their glowing eyes reflecting the starlight, but they are unwilling to risk a direct confrontation with the human guardian. A fragile peace descends. The herd relaxes, but only incrementally. Their vigilance, like the herders, remains a constant, quiet rhythm beneath the surface. The night has been survived, but it's just one night. Tomorrow will bring its own trials, its own sun-scorched plains, and its own intricate dance of predator and protector. By the time the first hint of dawn touches the eastern horizon, the immediate threat has passed. The predators have retreated to their dens and shady resting spots to wait out the coming heat. The herder knows this respite is temporary. It's a brief interlude in the endless, repeating cycle of survival that defines life in this place. Yet, in these quiet victories, in the simple fact of seeing the sun rise with his entire herd intact, there is a profound understanding of balance. It's the balance between strength and cunning, between man and beast, between infinite patience and decisive action. These lessons, carried in every one of his movements and every breath he takes, are as vital as water is to his cattle, and as essential as the morning sun itself. Now rising once more over the magnificent Kalahari, but as the sun dips below the horizon, painting the savannah in fiery hues, a whole new chapter of challenges begins. Tonight, we're delving into the pulse-pounding reality of a herder's night watch, a time when the wilderness truly tests every fiber of their being. As darkness deepens over the vast Kalahari, it brings with it an entirely different set of dangers. Listen closely. Can you hear it? That distant, eerie laughter of hyenas carrying across the plains. It's a chilling reminder that in this untamed land, survival is a constant negotiation. These scavengers are incredibly patient, cunning, and ever observant, always ready to exploit even a single misstep. But our herder, he's not just any herder. He's a walking encyclopedia of the Kalahari night. He's long studied their habits, knows their favorite paths, the subtle rustling that betrays their presence, and the precise timing when they dare to approach closest to the herd. It's a silent, bejeweled dance between predator and protector, played out under a canopy of endless stars. But here's the thing, not all threats emerge from the wild. Sometimes, the greatest dangers come from other humans. Rival Tswana clans patrol these ancient boundaries. always seeking to steal cattle, asserting dominance through raids and intimidation. So, while one eye is on the rustling bushes, the herder's other eye is constantly scanning for signals of human intrusion. Is that smoke from a distant, unauthorized fire? An unusual silhouette against the skyline? Or the faint, almost imperceptible crack of dry branches underfoot that isn't from his own herd? A confrontation with another clan can erupt swiftly, and the cost of complacency is counted in lost livestock, bruised honor, and sometimes, tragically, blood. Let's just pause for a moment here. Can you feel it? The fire crackles gently beside us, casting dancing shadows. The night breathes around us, alive with unseen movement. The air is thick with the smell of warm sand, a hint of wood smoke, and the sweet, mysterious scent of night flowers. Beneath it all, a distant, primal aroma that hints at predators on the prowl. The herd itself stands attentive, their massive bodies coiled like springs, ears twitching at the slightest disturbance. Every shadow is measured, every sound evaluated. In this silent vigil, every heartbeat, both human and animal, becomes a gauge of readiness. It's an ancient rhythm, a testament to survival. Our herder is a master strategist. He positions his loyal dogs strategically around the herd, their keen senses augmenting his own vigilance. They are his early warning system, alerting him to hyenas encroaching or strangers approaching under the deep cover of darkness. And the cattle, they respond to the most subtle cues, the shifting of his weight, a whispered command, the low, guttural growl of a dog. It's a remarkable choreography born of pure necessity, a silent language of survival encoded over generations of shared struggle and triumph. It's like they're all part of one vast, living organism, moving and breathing in perfect sync. Sometimes, rival clans don't just attack head-on, they employ cunning deception. Imagine this, a lone rider galloping towards the herd, a calculated distraction designed to lure the herder away, while the rest of the raiding party prepares to strike from another direction. But the herder's experience teaches him profound caution. Each approach, each movement, is scrutinized with unwavering intensity. He doesn't act on impulse. Only when certainty arrives does he make his move. The balance between offense and defense is incredibly delicate. One miscalculation, one moment of doubt, and loss is almost inevitable. It's a high-stakes game of wits, played out under the vast African sky. Meanwhile, the hyenas, sensing any hesitation or weakness, continue to probe the edges of the herd. They circle, sniffing, testing, their eerie, guttural chorus, a constant, unnerving reminder of the night's ever-present dangers. Yet, the herder maintains his composure. He uses his torchlight, not just for visibility, but as a weapon, casting long, intimidating shadows. He uses loud, deliberate gestures to reinforce the boundaries, asserting his presence. The animals, both wild and domesticated, understand this unspoken hierarchy of power. Its strength, tempered with precision, a silent promise that ensures survival for his beloved herd. As the hours crawl by, etched against the black canvas of the night sky, the herder remains absolutely vigilant. His mind is sharp, his body poised, a silent sentinel in the darkness. His life, and the lives of his herd, literally depend on this acute awareness. Every subtle movement of the wind, every rustle in the grass that isn't his own steps, each distant howl or the faintest whisper of hoofbeats, all are meticulously analyzed. In this dangerous dance with the wild, the herder is both participant and conductor, orchestrating safety amidst a symphony of threat. It's a masterclass in living in the moment, in constant, unwavering connection with his surroundings. Finally, by dawn, the immediate dangers, the hyenas retreating into the shadows, The rival clans, unseen, have subsided. You can almost feel the herd exhale in collective relief. Yet, the herder knows that this victory is fleeting. Night will fall again, predators and rivals will inevitably return, and the unending rhythm of herding across these sun-scorched plains will continue. But through these trials, the herder's skill, his patience, and his profound courage are honed, becoming as essential to survival as the precious waterholes and the life-giving grazing lands. This isn't just a job, it's a way of life, an inheritance passed down through generations. In the quiet aftermath, as the first rays of the sun kiss the Kalahari, the herder reflects on the profound duality of his life. It's a life of constant vigilance against both beast and man, bearing the immense weight of responsibility for every single head of cattle entrusted to him. These experiences, night after night, forge incredible resilience, sharpen instincts to an almost supernatural degree, and cultivate a deep, abiding respect for the land and all its creatures. The Tswana herder's world is one of perpetual learning, where every single night teaches new lessons in courage, keen observation, and a delicate, vital balance between life and survival itself. It's an incredible testament to the human spirit in its purest form. The Kalahari is a land of extremes, a world painted in stark contrasts. By day, the sun scorches the sand, baking the earth into a shimmering, unforgiving expanse. By night, a profound cold blankets the plains, wrapping the world in a deep, echoing silence. For the Tswana herder, survival in this magnificent but harsh environment isn't a matter of luck. It's a science, an art form passed down through countless generations. Their survival hinges on knowing the land's secrets, the hidden veins of water that pulse beneath the dry surface, and the shifting tapestry of grazing lands that appear and vanish with the seasons. A herder's memory is not just a collection of facts. It is a living, breathing map. Every depression in the sand, every cluster of resilient thorn trees, every winding, dry riverbed tells a story. It's a story of life, of sustenance, of where the herd can thrive and where danger lurks. This is more than just navigation. It is a deep, instinctual dialogue with the earth itself. By the end of this journey with us, you'll understand just how intimately a herder's life is entwined with these primal rhythms of nature. Every step they take is calculated, and every decision they make is shaped by centuries of careful, patient observation. In this arid world, waterholes are the lifelines. They are the anchors around which the cycle of life revolves. Some are permanent, dependable oases shaded by the broad canopies of acacia trees, offering a constant source of relief. Others, however, are ephemeral, seasonal treasures that appear only after the rare, sweeping rains bless the desert floor. A seasoned herder knows the character of each one. They know which ponds hold enough water to last the entire herd through the grueling heat of the day, which pools attract predators like lions or hyenas lying in wait, and which hidden springs are whispered about only in the sacred stories of the elders' secrets guarded for times of dire need. The journey to water is never a simple trek. As the herd moves, dust swirls in the hot wind, a constant companion on the march. The heat rising from the ground creates mirages, shimmering illusions of water that tease the eyes and test the spirit. But the herder is not fooled. They read the landscape like an open book, their eyes trained to see beyond the deception. Tracks in the sand are a language. They reveal the recent passage of other animals, both predator and prey, and even other humans, pointing toward sources of nourishment or signaling imminent danger. Every single observation matters. The angle of the shadows tells the time of day and direction. The bend of a dried branch might indicate the path an animal took. Even the scent carried on the wind can bring news of distant rain or the presence of a nearby water source. As the herd plods onward, the herder is constantly scanning the horizon, not just for water, but for grazing opportunities. The Kalahari's sparse grasses are a precious, shifting resource. They change dramatically with the seasons. In the wet months, after the rains, the plains can burst into a surprising, vibrant green, offering abundant fodder for the cattle. But this abundance is fleeting. During the long, dry season, the herder must lead their charges over vast distances, from one patch of dry grass to another. Their selection is meticulous. They must find areas that can sustain life, but take care not to strip the land bare. This is a crucial act of stewardship. This knowledge ensures not only the immediate survival of their herd, but also the long-term renewal of the land, preserving it for the generations of herders yet to come. There are moments, however, when the herder must make difficult, calculated choices. A nearby pond may be shallow, meaning it could be exhausted quickly, but its proximity saves the herd's precious energy. On the other hand, a distant, reliable oasis might promise safety and the opportunity for the herd to truly thrive. But it requires a long, grueling march that could weaken the animals. Each decision weighs heavily on the herder's shoulders, for miscalculations are not abstract errors. They are measured in the stark reality of thirsted cattle or lost calves. The herder's judgment is sharpened by years of experience, a powerful instinct, and an intimate, almost spiritual understanding of nature's hidden logic. This journey is also fraught with tangible dangers. Some waterholes, while life-giving, are guarded by natural hazards. Crocodiles, masters of ambush, may lurk in the cool, shaded pools. Hippos, surprisingly territorial and aggressive, might dominate the wider stretches of water, making it impossible for the cattle to drink. The herder navigates these dangers with a practiced, respectful care. They teach the young apprentice herders how to read the subtle signs of danger. A faint ripple on the water's surface that doesn't match the wind, a patch of flattened grass near the bank where a predator may have rested. Every moment is a lesson in caution, in observation, and in a profound respect for all life, even that which poses a threat. Seasonal grazing presents another complex challenge. The herder must become a long-range forecaster, anticipating where the rains will fall, predicting how the grasses will recover in different areas, and respecting the lands that are traditionally used by other clans. Here, survival is not just about individual endurance. It's about community. Cooperation and negotiation are as crucial as any skill in finding water. The herder consults with elders, drawing upon their immense well of wisdom. They track the migration of wild herbivores like springbok or wildebeest, knowing that these animals are nature's own guides to good grazing. They listen to the stories and songs passed down through the generations, each one a map, a guide for the movement of livestock, and a moral compass for preserving harmony among neighboring communities. Throughout the year, this constant rhythm of movement, observation, and planning defines the herder's existence. Each waterhole visited and each grazing patch chosen is not just a practical act. It is a reaffirmation of the herder's mastery over this harsh, beautiful, and ever-changing environment. The life of a Tswana herder is an intricate blend of immense physical exertion, sharp mental calculation, and a deep spiritual attunement to the land they call home. It is through this continuous, elegant dance with nature that they ensure life, both human and bovine endures, even under the relentless African sun. By dusk, as the shadows lengthen and the fierce heat of the day finally subsides, the herd gathers near a vital pond, The lowing of the cattle is a sound of contentment as they drink their fill. In this moment of peace, the herder has time to reflect on the delicate balance they navigate every single day, the balance between scarcity and plenty, between risk and reward. The land offers, it tests, and it teaches. To read its signs correctly is to survive. To misread them is to falter. Here, water and grass are not merely resources. They are markers of wisdom, of patience, and of incredible perseverance. The Kalahari holds its secrets close, but to those who know how to listen, every breeze, every rustle of the grass, every distant cry of a jackal is a piece of guidance. And so, each day spent tracking and watering is more than just a routine. It strengthens the herder's bond with the land. It cultivates a deep respect for every life it sustains, and it ensures the continuity of this priceless knowledge, passed from one generation to the next. Here, in the heart of the Kalahari, survival is a story written in vigilance, in foresight, and in the timeless lessons etched in sand, water, and grass. Imagine the sun dipping below the horizon, painting the sky with fiery oranges and soft purples. In this breathtaking landscape, the life of a Tswana herder isn't just about counting cattle or surviving the wilderness. It's a rich tapestry woven with ritual, deep responsibility, and the unbreakable bonds that tie family, community, and their precious herd together. Every new calf, every ancient rite observed, every lesson passed down it, all carries the immense weight of centuries of tradition. The herder here isn't just a worker. They are a guardian, a guide, a teacher, a witness, and the dedicated steward of both the land and its living creatures. It's a role filled with immense meaning and daily dedication. By the end of our time together today, you'll gain a profound understanding of how these powerful rituals shape identity, strengthen community bonds, and, most importantly, ensure that the invaluable knowledge of generations of herders is never, ever lost. For young boys in these communities, their journey into manhood is marked by intense rites that skillfully intertwine courage, endurance, and practical skill. They don't just learn to expertly drive the cattle or fiercely defend them from predators. They learn something much deeper. They learn to profoundly respect the spirits of the land, to revere the elders of their clans, and to live by the subtle, invisible codes that govern every aspect of their lives. These aren't just mere ceremonies. They are profound life lessons, etched into their very being through sweat, dust, and unwavering devotion. The very first step in any initiation is quiet, diligent observation. Imagine a young boy, eyes wide, following seasoned herders across sun-scorched plains, silently absorbing lessons that are often hidden in plain sight. He watches how the elders expertly read the subtle shifts in the clouds, predicting approaching storms long before they break. He learns to listen for the almost imperceptible cries of thirsty animals, understanding their needs with uncanny empathy. He observes how they calmly judge the temperament of a restless herd, knowing exactly when to intervene and when to let nature take its course. Every movement these elders make is a story, every glance a wordless instruction, conveying deep wisdom. The herder teaches virtues that are just as vital as physical strength or agility: patience, restraint, and incredible foresight. These qualities aren't just helpful, they are essential for survival and a thriving community. As night falls, a new kind of magic unfolds. Communal gatherings come alive, with songs and ancient stories echoing under the magnificent baobab trees. This is where the past beautifully intertwines with the present. Tales of daring hunts, miraculous survival during brutal droughts, and the legendary exploits of herders from long ago are shared, passed down through generations. The young boys and girls listen intently, absorbing every word, allowing their imaginations to place themselves right within these narratives. These stories are far more than just entertainment. They are living repositories of wisdom, offering warnings from the past and profound inspiration for the future. They serve as a powerful reminder to every listener that every decision, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, profoundly affects not only the health and well-being of the herd, but also the honor of the family and the delicate balance of the entire land. It's a deep sense of interconnectedness that guides their daily lives, and the rituals they extend right into the heart of the herd itself, reinforcing this deep spiritual bond. For the Tswana cattle are never just mere property. They are living symbols of lineage, immense wealth, and a very continuity of life. Each new calf born into the world is welcomed with a heartfelt blessing, a whispered prayer for its health and strength, and a solemn acknowledgement of the sacred responsibility to protect it. Naming ceremonies are powerful moments, linking these animals intimately to the clan, embedding them deeply into the social fabric and the spiritual consciousness of the herder. It's a connection that goes beyond ownership. It's a profound partnership. But the herder's responsibility stretches even further, extending far beyond the immediate herd and into the fabric of the entire community. The herder often acts as a mediator, a protector, and sometimes even a respected judge within their community. Disputes over vital grazing rights or precious water access are resolved not through conflict, but through careful counsel and an unwavering adherence to long-established codes of conduct. Elders play a crucial role, guiding the younger herders, teaching them diplomacy and fairness with the same meticulous care they use to teach essential skills like knife handling or tracking techniques. The very continuity of their social order, the harmony of their lives, depends on these quiet, often invisible acts of dedicated stewardship. The herder's calendar is beautifully punctuated by seasonal ceremonies. When the life-giving rains finally arrive, the entire community gathers in joyful celebration of water and new growth. Ritual dances mimic the graceful movements of the cattle, honoring the powerful forces that sustain all life. Offerings are made not as desperate pleas for power, but as profound acknowledgments of deep gratitude for nature's bounty. The herder's life is a constant, vibrant rhythm of hard work, keen observation, joyous celebration, and quiet reflection, with each step reinforcing the timeless cycle of survival and their enduring culture. It's a life lived in harmony with the natural world. Through these deeply ingrained practices, the herder ensures that vital knowledge, strong ethics, and a powerful sense of communal responsibility are faithfully passed down from one generation to the next. Young initiates learn the intimate secrets of the hidden waterholes, the invisible pathways of the winds, and the subtle, crucial signals hidden in the behavior of the cattle. But more than just survival skills, they inherit a profound philosophy that life is measured in delicate balance, deep respect, and the incredible ability to read both nature and one's neighbors with meticulous care and empathy. It's a holistic education that shapes their entire worldview. This discipline of responsibility fundamentally shapes the herder's character. Courage, in their world, isn't recklessness. It's a measured, unwavering resolve. Patience isn't passive acceptance. It's an attentive readiness, always prepared. Leadership isn't about dominance. It's about guidance, informed by keen observation and profound empathy. These virtues, meticulously cultivated through ritual and hands-on experience, are what ensure that the herd thrives, the family endures, and the unbroken lineage of herders continues its vital work. It's a legacy built on integrity and wisdom. As night deepens, the fires burn lower, casting long, dancing shadows, and the community slowly settles into quiet repose. The cattle rest peacefully. Young herders dream of the adventures tomorrow will bring, and the elders reflect on the countless cycles of life they have witnessed. Every single day, the responsibilities are renewed, tending the herd with care, guarding life fiercely, observing the land with sharp awareness, and honoring tradition above all else. In this quiet, ancient rhythm, the very soul of the Kalahari breathes. And the herder stands proudly as both a protector and a vital participant in the ancient, ongoing story of survival. The Tswana herder's life is truly a seamless weave of ritual and responsibility. Every act, from patiently watering the herd to performing sacred rites under the vast sky, reaffirms a truth older than memory itself, that survival, culture, and legacy are inextricably linked. In the harsh, yet beautiful, embrace of the desert, wisdom is as absolutely vital as strength, and reverence for life is as utterly necessary as skill. The sun hangs high above the Kalahari, its gaze unrelenting. Dust spirals from the dry earth as the herder walks, staff in hand, leading his cattle. His eyes, weathered by sun and time, constantly scan the horizon. In this vast, arid expanse, water is everything. It is life itself. The herder's first and greatest responsibility is to ensure that both his animals and his people survive the relentless heat. Knowing the location of waterholes, seasonal rivers, and hidden wells is not just practical information. It is sacred wisdom, a legacy passed from elder to initiate across countless generations. Each water source is mapped in memory, remembered not just by its location but by its unique character. The distinct smell of the reeds that grow at its edge, the particular color of the surrounding soil, the subtle whispers of nearby wildlife that signal life hidden just beneath the sand. The herder moves with a quiet, unshakable confidence, reading the land's subtle signs, the way a termite mound cracks under the heat, the faint tracks of a duiker in the dust, or the precise angle of the sun on a distant ridge. Of these are a language informing his path. Young herders watch their elders with focused attention, absorbing techniques that can never be written down or drawn. These are lessons that must be felt, internalized, and lived. Every single decision matters. A wrong turn could mean days of lost time, cattle weakened by thirst, and a community plunged into anxiety, their survival hanging on the health of this herd. Watering the cattle is an art form, a delicate dance of patience and control. The animals are guided gently to the water's edge, calmed by the herder's soft whistles and careful, reassuring strokes. He understands each animal's temperament, which cows are eager and push forward, which young calves tend to lag behind, and which bulls are restless and resist. Mismanagement here could lead to injury, panic, or chaos. It is a moment where patience and keen observation must blend seamlessly with authority, creating a peaceful rhythm that soothes both human and beast. The herd drinks, and for a moment, the desert holds its breath. During droughts, the herder's knowledge is tested to its absolute limit. Streams that once flowed become ribbons of cracked earth, ponds evaporate into shimmering mirages, and every tiny patch of green becomes a coveted, precious sanctuary. In these trying times, the herder recalls the elders' tales of past droughts, of how their ancestors managed impossibly scarce resources and shared water with neighboring clans to maintain a fragile balance. Each journey to a distant, rumored water source is a calculated gamble, a careful weighing of the distance against the herd's stamina and the ever-present risks. The land demands respect, and the herder's greatest skill lies in his ability to listen to its silent, powerful instructions. Tracking the herd is a constant exercise in vigilance. Predators are patient, and their cunning is a constant danger. Lions follow the scent of water just as the herders do. Hyenas circle from afar, their calls echoing in the night. And even rival clans might keep a watchful eye on a healthy neighboring herd. The herder's path is therefore both literal and strategic. He moves not only to quench the thirst of his animals, but to ensure their safety. Each night, camps are chosen with meticulous care, sheltered from the biting wind, near a source of water, yet defensible. This allows the herd to rest, while the herders stand watch under the vast star-filled sky. Seasonal grazing requires incredible foresight. The herder must know which pastures will replenish after the rains, and which have been overgrazed and need time to heal. A deep knowledge of plant cycles, soil conditions, and the specific preferences of his animals guides every daily movement. By rotating pastures, he prevents depletion, sustains the herd, and preserves the land for the generations that will follow him. This profound awareness that survival is not a conquest of nature, but a partnership with it is central to the herder's entire philosophy. The herder's skill is also deeply communal. Waterholes and grazing lands are shared resources, and open communication with neighboring clans is vital for everyone's survival. Ancient traditions dictate rotation schedules for grazing, provide frameworks for conflict resolution, and mandate mutual assistance during times of scarcity. Social cohesion is not separate from environmental knowledge. They are woven together, creating a strong, resilient social fabric. The herder is not a solitary figure against the wilderness. He is a crucial part of a complex network of obligations, alliances, and shared responsibilities. It is in these moments of quiet discussion, as herders from different clans meet at the water's edge, that the community's strength is reaffirmed. Through all these acts, the patient search for water, the careful guidance of the herd, the watchful nights the herder teaches the young, he teaches them that survival is not about brute force, but about careful strategy, patient observation, and a profound respect for cycles far greater than oneself. Each journey across the desert, each step toward a life-giving waterhole, each gentle touch that calms a restless calf reinforces the essential lessons of endurance, foresight, and humility. Let us pause for a moment and just listen. The wind moves softly across the sand, whispering stories of ancestors who once walked these same paths, who tracked waterholes by the light of the stars, and whose ancient knowledge still courses through the veins of every herder today. By understanding the secret paths of water, the seasonal rhythms of the grass, and the intricate needs of the herder ensures that life continues. It is a delicate, beautiful balance, maintained through discipline, observation, and an unwavering, quiet care. This balance is the very heartbeat of Tswana culture, echoing in the steady footsteps of each herder and in the low, contented murmur of the cattle under a deepening twilight sky. Imagine, if you will, a stillness so profound it hums, a temporary truce in the sun's fiery embrace. But for the Tswana herder, this stillness is a dangerous illusion. It's not safety. It's a canvas where danger paints its shadows. Every tiny rustle in the thorny bushes, every fleeting flicker of movement across the vast, moonlit dunes, could be a harbinger of threat. Lions, those magnificent hunters, stalk with silent grace, their golden eyes glinting in the moonlight, measuring every step, every distance, with deadly patience as they assess the herd. And then there are the hyenas, cunning and persistent scavengers, circling with an unsettling intent, always listening for any sign of weakness, any tremor of fear among the cattle. But it's not just the wild beasts that pose a danger. Even rival clans, driven by ancient disputes over land or resources, might attempt to raid if they sense an opening, an opportunity in the deep darkness. The Tswana herder, therefore, isn't just an observer. They are a perpetual sentinel, an unyielding guardian, standing bravely between life and devastating loss for their precious herd. It's a role that demands constant, unwavering vigilance, a profound connection to the land and its rhythms. The safety of the herd isn't left to chance or to the last minute. Protection begins long before any predator dares to show its face. The herd itself is a marvel of discipline, trained over generations to respond instinctively to specific whistles, to subtle commands from their herder. When danger even whispers, they know to form tight, impenetrable clusters. Their combined strength a formidable defense. The most vulnerable, the young calves, are always kept tucked safely near the powerful adults. The mighty bulls, with their imposing horns and sheer mass, are strategically positioned to block any vulnerable paths, creating a living fortress. And the herd they are a constant, moving presence among them, a living barrier, always ready to intervene, always prepared to face down a threat. This isn't just about physical strength, it's about profound knowledge. Understanding animal behavior is absolutely crucial here. They know that lions, for instance, often target the weak, the old, or those that have become separated from the group. Hyenas, on the other hand, are masters at exploiting confusion, at turning a moment of disarray into an advantage. By reading the incredibly subtle cues, the sudden tension in a tail, the almost imperceptible flick of an ear, the abrupt halt in chewing that signals unease, the herder can anticipate danger, often before it even fully materializes. It's an almost psychic connection to their environment, born from countless hours under the stars. Let's just pause for a moment and truly absorb this. The night in the Kalahari isn't silent, it hums with life. There's the relentless, rhythmic chorus of cicadas, the distant, eerie calls of predators on the hunt, and the soft, deep breathing of the herd, a symphony of survival. Each sound, no matter how faint, carries meaning. Each tiny movement in the darkness speaks a warning, and the herder, they listen with every single one of their senses, their entire being tuned to the language of the wild. It's a breathtaking dedication. Their protection strategies aren't just reactive, they're incredibly proactive, a sophisticated dance with nature. The strategic placement of their night camps, the careful choice of grazing grounds, and even the precise timing of their movements are all meticulously planned. Herders often seek out areas that offer natural barriers, the shifting dunes, rugged rocky outcrops, or dense, thorny thickets, anything that can impede the progress of a determined predator. Fires are lit, but cautiously. They serve as both a deterrent to unwelcome visitors and as signals, beacons in the vast darkness. Lookouts are rotated tirelessly throughout the night, ensuring that vigilance never wanes, not even for a second. This entire orchestration isn't a chaotic struggle. It's a quiet, powerful symphony of survival, a complex knowledge passed down through generations. It's learned through countless hours of first-hand experience and taught with boundless patience to eager young apprentices who dream of becoming herders themselves. Predators, as you can imagine, are not icily outsmarted. They are patient, ingenious, and relentlessly opportunistic. A lion might wait for the absolute cover of deepest darkness, approaching silently, testing the herd's resolve, looking for any sign of weakness. Hyenas, with their sly intelligence and surprising boldness, are always ready to exploit even the slightest hesitation, any moment of uncertainty. The herder responds to these threats with an extraordinary blend of raw courage and sharp cunning. A raised spear, its tip glinting in the moonlight, the rhythmic, intimidating beat of a staff struck against the ground, or a commanding, powerful shout can often be enough to deter an attack before it fully escalates. But sometimes a full-blown chase is simply unavoidable. Even then, the herder moves with calm precision, a testament to their training, guiding the herd to safety without allowing panic to take hold. They know instinctively that fear spreads far faster than any claws or teeth, and a calm leader means a calm herd. Rival clans present a completely different, yet equally serious, kind of threat. Conflicts over vital grazing rights, precious water sources, or indeed the livestock themselves, are managed with a delicate combination of diplomacy and a clear, undeniable display of strength. Herders carry an encyclopedic knowledge of their neighboring clans' habits, their movements, and they are constantly watching for any subtle signs of encroachment. It's a careful, almost artistic balance between firm assertiveness and respectful restraint that ensures peace, while absolutely guaranteeing the herd's safety. This vigilance isn't just physical, it's profoundly mental, a constant, nuanced assessment of both human and animal behavior. The training of the young is, without exaggeration, absolutely essential. Novice herders, wide-eyed and eager, accompany their wise elders on countless patrols, absorbing every detail. They learn the silent, intricate language of threat detection. How to read every tiny track in the sand, distinguishing between the paw prints of a predator and the hoof prints of their own livestock. They learn that critical skill, when to act decisively and when to wait, observing and planning. These vital lessons aren't formalized in dusty books or classrooms. They are absorbed directly through intense observation, through careful mimicry, and, most importantly, through the repeated, visceral experience of both danger and survival. Each new generation doesn't just inherit the cattle. They inherit an entire, living library of wisdom, the collective knowledge of protection. Even in those rare moments of apparent calm, when the moon hangs high and the night seems to breathe softly, the herder remains utterly attentive. Predators aren't the only threats. Sudden, violent storms, unexpected wildfires, or a devastating illness sweeping through the herd can be just as dangerous. Adaptability, therefore, is absolutely crucial. The herder's entire life is a constant, delicate negotiation between foresight, courage, and immense patience, all focused on one singular goal: ensuring that the herd not only survives, but thrives in a landscape that, while breathtakingly beautiful, is ultimately unforgiving. As the dawn breaks, casting long shadows and painting the savannah in hues of gold, the Tswana herder walks alongside their cattle, guiding the young calves with protective gestures. This isn't just about survival. It's about teaching something far deeper. Through these acts of unwavering protection, the herder instills a profound sense of responsibility, vital leadership skills, and an immense, humbling respect for both life itself and the ancient, powerful rhythms of the land. The herd is so much more than just property. It's a vibrant, living community, a direct reflection of the values and dedication of its caretakers. Each day of tireless vigilance, each night of watchful guardianship is a powerful reaffirmation of trust. A trust that binds human and animal. A trust that bridges generations, and a trust that connects the herder to the vast wild Kalahari that demands both respect and wisdom in equal, boundless measure. Let's pause one last time. Look up at the stars glimmering above. They are silent, eternal witnesses to countless nights of patrols, to the unwavering devotion of herders who have walked these paths for centuries. Their footsteps echo softly in the sand, an ancient rhythm of survival that seamlessly ties the past, present, and future into the endless. breathtaking dance of protection and care. Imagine this. The first whispers of dawn stretch softly across the Kalahari. It's not just another sunrise. It's a breathtaking painting unfolding, washing the towering dunes in gentle golds and deep, shifting shadows. For the Tswana herder, standing tall against this magnificent backdrop, this isn't merely the start of another day under the sun. Oh no, it's a moment steeped in ceremony, in profound duty, and in an unwavering respect for the rhythm of life itself. Look closely, the herd isn't just a collection of animals. It's a living, breathing archive of lineage, a vibrant testament to family, and a powerful echo of countless herders who have walked these very plains before. To be a herder here, to care for these magnificent creatures, is to honor a tradition so ancient and so powerful it literally binds the entire community together. It's like watching threads of survival, intricate rituals, and timeless wisdom being woven into one continuous, unbreakable tapestry. It's truly incredible. And here's where the magic truly begins. The ritual starts even before a single animal is moved. It's deliberate, purposeful, water, precious and life-giving, is offered ceremonially at sacred wells or at familiar, well-loved waterholes. This isn't rushed. It's a sacred offering, and the young herders, those wide-eyed apprentices learning the ways of their ancestors, are taught to do something truly beautiful. They whisper blessings to each and every calf. Imagine that, murmuring words, soft and heartfelt, that bind the animal to the family, reminding them of the profound responsibility they now carry. These aren't just superstitions, not at all. They are deep, meaningful guidance, a powerful way of teaching mindfulness and a profound reverence for all life. The oldest cattle, the wise, weathered ones who have survived countless seasons, are honored with a special reverence for their incredible resilience. And with meticulous care, the entire herd is checked for any sign of illness, any whisper of weakness. Every single observation, every gentle touch, is a hands-on lesson in unwavering attention and heartfelt care. It's truly a masterclass in observation and empathy. Let's just pause for a moment and soak this in. Can you almost feel the wind rustling through those sparse, resilient trees? Hear it carrying the faint, earthy scent of dry earth and sun-baked grass? It's as if the very land itself is listening, responding to the herder's unwavering devotion. This quietude of ritual, this deep sense of peace, is such a powerful contrast to the dangers that the day might bring. The relentless sun, the cunning predators, the threat of drought. Yet, it's absolutely inseparable from them. Because without this discipline, without this profound care, the herd simply wouldn't survive what lies ahead. Rites of passage, these powerful ceremonies, form the very heartbeat of Tswana life. A young boy, once allowed only to follow the elders, carrying out small, helpful tasks, eventually begins his journey to learn to lead. He grows, step by step, becoming responsible for scouting out new grazing lands, for guiding the herd to hidden, life-saving water sources, and for defending them with unwavering courage from predators. Each significant step in his journey is marked by ceremonial acts. Sometimes it's a symbolic walk through the vast, shifting dunes, a heartfelt blessing from a revered elder, or the profound gifting of a staff or a protective charm. These rites aren't flashy. They're not about grand displays. Instead, they are quiet, yet powerful, affirmations of competence, of endless patience, and of incredible courage. They are witnessed not just by family and peers, but by the living, breathing land itself, holding its secrets and its blessings. The deep sense of responsibility here extends far beyond just individual herders. It is a social duty woven deeply into the very fabric of the community. Families work together, hand in hand, to maintain grazing patterns that lovingly prevent overuse, ensuring the land can sustain them all. They rotate herders, ensuring a watchful eye is kept on the precious herd throughout the night, protecting them under the vast, star-studded sky. And, crucially, they share ancient knowledge of waterfalls, those vital lifelines that may shift and change with the unpredictable seasons. Stories of past droughts, harrowing predator attacks, or encounters with rival clans are passed down, not just as tales, but as sacred texts, ensuring that precious wisdom and vital caution travel safely from one generation to the next. The herd, in this incredible culture, is thus both a living treasure and a powerful medium through which the community's rich cultural memory flows, like a deep, unwavering river. And it's not just about their practical value. The cattle themselves carry a profound symbolic significance. Each animal is a living record of lineage, a testament to wealth, and a reflection of social standing within the community. Naming calves with care, marking them meticulously, and remembering their intricate parentage is an essential part of the herder's deep duty. Mismanagement isn't just a financial loss here, it's a spiritual one, because it diminishes those vital threads that connect family, history, and the very landscape itself. Through this careful, unwavering attention, the herder ensures that the herd remains a beautiful reflection of both human diligence and the profound natural order of the world. It's truly a testament to their deep connection. So, the rhythm of the day flows seamlessly from profound ritual to demanding labor. Feeding, watering, and guiding the herd interlace perfectly with moments of quiet reflection and the timeless art of storytelling. By telling tales of past herders, of legendary, revered animals, and of the powerful spirits of the land, the elders gently teach ethics, intricate strategy, and profound humility. The young are constantly reminded that protection and guidance are absolutely inseparable from reverence and responsibility. You simply cannot herd without respect. You cannot survive without keen observation. The entire narrative of the Kalahari, of cattle and clan, is stitched together in these daily, often quiet acts. Each repetition reinforces not just cultural memory, but a deep, vital ecological knowledge that has sustained them for centuries. And as we near the end of our journey today, let's just pause again for another moment. Look at that horizon. It's glowing a faint, ethereal pink, isn't it? A gentle reminder that time here isn't measured in hours, not in minutes. It's measured in the majestic rise and fall of the sun, in the steady, unwavering movement of the herd, and in the continuous, sacred passage of knowledge from one generation to the next. Here, under the quiet, watchful scrutiny of the vast, endless sky, responsibility is both a significant burden and an incredible privilege. It's learned slowly, with patience and dedication, and it is lived fully with every breath. We're venturing deep into the heart of the Kalahari Desert, a place that embodies both immense beauty and incredible challenge. Imagine a land where the sun doesn't just shine, it burns relentlessly, turning the sand into a vast, shimmering ocean of heat. This is where the Tswana herders call home, and where their ancient knowledge becomes the very lifeline for their herds. As we watch the sun climb higher, baking the earth, you see the herd moving. Not quickly, but deliberately, each step a testament to survival, under the watchful, knowing eyes of the herders. In this landscape, water isn't just important. It's sacred. It's life itself. The Tswana herders' intimate understanding of every hidden water cache every secret spring is passed down through generations. A legacy of survival. Every cracked stone, every dry riverbed, every sparse acacia tree they pass tells a story. A story of previous rains, of shifting sands, of countless animals and people who have walked this path before. To track and find water here isn't just a skill. It's an art form, a delicate dance between observation, memory, and raw instinct that defines their very existence. By the end of our time together today, you'll truly grasp how the rhythm of movement, the profound art of reading the land, and the sheer patience required to follow unseen signs define the herder's life. Think about it. A seemingly insignificant footprint in the sand, a distant bird circling high above, or even the faint scent of damp earth in a hidden depression. To our modern eyes, these might mean little, but to a Tswana herder, these are vital clues. Potential indicators of life-sustaining water hidden just beneath the surface. They interpret these signs with an almost superhuman practiced eye, understanding that one single misstep, one wrong decision, can cost the herd dearly. And it's not just about thirst. It's about the very cohesion of the family, the community that depends entirely on that herd for survival. Let's pause for just a moment. Can you almost feel it? The wind whispering across the dunes, carrying not just heat and dust, but the distant, earthy scent of dried grasses. The cattle, incredibly, move with such calm obedience, guided by soft commands, a gentle click of the tongue, and the quiet, undeniable authority of their herders. The herders' eyes, they flicker constantly, from the vast horizon to the boundless sky, and back to each individual animal. Every glance is a calculation, every subtle pause, a critical judgment. They are living, breathing maps of this incredible land, and when they finally find water, it's not just a discovery. It's a ritual, whether it's a hidden spring, a deep well, or even a temporary puddle in a dried riverbed. The herder approaches it with immense respect. Water is first, always first, shared with the weakest animals, the youngest calves, the oldest cows, and only then do the stronger ones drink. The act of drinking itself becomes a controlled celebration, a quiet, powerful recognition that life has been preserved through incredible attention, foresight, and a deep, intuitive understanding of nature's cycles. It's a moment of profound gratitude and triumph in the face of immense challenge. Their lives are also dictated by seasonal grazing lands, which means constant movement. The herder has to anticipate everything: the arrival of the rains, the flourishing of palatable grasses, and the inevitable depletion of waterholes. They move the herd in perfect rhythm with nature's own timetable, following a complex map of survival. But this map isn't drawn on paper or an app. It's etched into memory, passed down orally through generations. The elders meticulously teach the young to recognize the subtle differences in soil, the unique smell of fresh grass, the exact timing of certain blooms, all vital markers that indicate the best pastures, the next haven for their precious herd. Let's pause again as the shadows begin to lengthen across the dunes. The herd's pace naturally slows. The herder, too, pauses, listening, not just to the sounds, but to the whispers of the land itself. Every hillock, every dry channel, every ancient rock speaks of past journeys, of rains that came and went, of the countless lives of animals and humans intertwined in this quiet, powerful cooperation for millennia. It's a symphony of survival, played out day after day. But it's not always peaceful. Conflict sometimes arises, especially when water, the most precious resource, is scarce. Competing herds, rival clans, and even wandering predators like lions or hyenas challenge this delicate balance. The herder must negotiate, not just with words, but with a keen strategy, constant observation, and infinite patience. Successfully navigating these threats demands an intimate understanding of both animals and people, a deep literacy in the language of tracks, scent, and pure, raw instinct. It's a constant chess game played against the vastness of the desert. Through all of this, the herder teaches the young that the land itself is alive with signals. Every gust of wind, every subtle rustle in the grass, every distant bird call, they all carry vital information. Water may be scarce, yes, but foresight and unwavering vigilance can turn that scarcity into survival. The herd moves with an incredible rhythm and deep respect, following the knowledge embedded in generations of herders. This knowledge isn't just practical, it's sacred. It binds the herder to the land and to all those who will follow in their footsteps, ensuring the continuity of life. By the end of a long, arduous day, when water is found and the herd is finally settled, there's a quiet, profound satisfaction. The herder has honored an ancient pact between humankind, the animals they care for, and the environment that sustains them all. In the harshness of drought, in the scorching heat, and amidst the ever-present danger, the Tswana herder has preserved life and lineage. Guided by unwavering tradition, honed skill, and constant, meticulous attention, they ensure that life continues against all odds. As the sun dips below the horizon, painting the Kalahari in breathtaking shades of orange and purple, you see the cattle resting peacefully near the waterhole. The herders stand silhouetted against the sky, quietly observing, their figures a testament to resilience and wisdom. It's a powerful image, a reminder of the incredible connection between humanity and nature. As the sun dips toward the horizon, it paints the vast Kalahari in hues of deep gold and crimson. For the Tswana herder, this is a time of reflection, a moment to contemplate the life that binds him not only to his cattle, but to his community, his traditions, and the ancestral knowledge that flows through his veins like the very rivers that sustain this land. Herding here is far more than a means of survival. It is a sacred responsibility, a profound and ancient pact. Every calf, every cow, every ox carries within it the promise of continuity of living, breathing record of lineage, of family, and of communal bonds that stretch back further than memory can reach. The herd is a chronicle of a people, written not in ink, but in blood, bone, and spirit. The journey from boy to herder is marked by rites of passage, lessons learned not in a classroom, but in the boundless expanse of the veldt. A young man must learn to read the land as if it were a sacred text. He is taught to distinguish the subtle tracks of predator and prey, to know which waterholes offer life and which may hide lurking danger. Most importantly, he learns the silent, intricate language of the cattle, the meaning behind the flick of a tail, the subtle shift in the herd's formation when a lion approaches, the unspoken communication that flows between the animals, a language only a seasoned herder can truly interpret. These lessons are often conducted in profound silence, built on observation and the occasional whispered instruction from an elder. This method allows the young herder to internalize the rhythms of life, to feel the pulse of the wild until it becomes a part of his own. Let us pause for a moment and just be here. The wind, a constant traveler across these plains, carries the scent of dust and dry grasses. In the distance, the lone, haunting cry of a jackal punctuates the evening air. Closer, you can hear the low, contented murmur of cattle settling down for the night. Imagine a young herder sitting beside an elder, the firelight dancing on their faces. He isn't just listening to words. He is absorbing the quiet authority of experience. feeling the weight of responsibility settle upon his shoulders as naturally and as gently as the cool night air settles upon the sun-baked earth. It is a transfer of wisdom, a passing of the torch in the soft glow of twilight. The year is punctuated by ceremonial duties, rituals that reaffirm the delicate balance of this existence. The first rains, a blessing from the heavens, are met with offerings to the spirits of the land. Prayers are sent up for protection against the ever-present threat of drought and for blessings upon the herd's fertility. Each ritual is a thread that strengthens the connection between human and animal, between the present and the past. The herder honors the ancestors whose knowledge has guided him through countless seasons, acknowledging that without their wisdom, the water, the grass, and life itself might vanish into the shifting sands of the Kalahari. These ceremonies are not mere superstitions. They are acts of profound respect, a recognition that humanity is part of a much larger, interconnected web of life. Maintaining the lineage of the herd is a practice of careful, deliberate artistry. The herder selects bulls and cows for breeding with meticulous attention to health, temperament, and resilience against the harsh environment. Each mating and each calf born is a conscious act to strengthen the continuity of the herd and, by extension, the security and prosperity of the entire community. These are decisions made with immense patience and foresight. One wrong choice, one moment of carelessness, can create ripples that affect the herd for seasons to come, weakening both the animal and the human networks that depend on it. In this world, responsibility is both a practical skill and a deep moral obligation, a duty to the future built upon the wisdom of the past. Let us pause again. The last sliver of the sun disappears behind the distant, silent dunes, leaving a profound hush that blankets the plains. The herder's voice, now soft in the gathering darkness, tells stories to the young ones gathered around the fire. These are not just tales for entertainment. They are stories of past herders, of devastating storms survived, and of hard-won triumphs. Each story is a living lesson, embedded with strategy, caution, and a deep, abiding reverence for the land that sustains them all. It is through these narratives that the culture breathes, that the knowledge is passed, and that the spirit of the herder is forged in the hearts of the next generation. Social cohesion in Tswana society depends on herding as much as it does on ritual. Cattle represent wealth, but it is a wealth that must be managed with wisdom, for without it, it can just as easily destroy bonds as it can forge them. Disputes over precious water, grazing lands, or the ownership of livestock are inevitable. However, they are resolved not through conflict, but through careful negotiation, guided by the steady hands of elders and the communal laws that have been passed down through generations. Rituals often punctuate these negotiations, framing them within a context of shared values and mutual respect. This ensures that harmony, memory, and tradition prevail, keeping the fabric of the clan strong and tightly woven. As the night deepens and the stars blaze with an unmatched intensity in the clear desert sky, the herder contemplates the symbiotic life of man, cattle, and land. His responsibility extends beyond his herd to the young, who will one day inherit this world and all the knowledge it contains. Every task, from the grueling work of tracking water sources to the delicate art of guiding the cattle through thorny passes, becomes an exercise in patience, a lesson in observation, and a practice in ethical stewardship. The herder teaches the fundamental truth that life is a circle. The health of the herd ensures the survival of the family. The care for the land ensures there will be water and pastures for the generations yet to come. In the profound quiet of the late night, with the distant calls of nocturnal animals echoing across the plains, The herder performs his final checks. Gates are secured against predators. Any sick or weak animals are tended to with gentle hands. And the young are reminded once more of the day's lessons. Responsibility here is never a passive state. It is a constant, unwavering vigilance, practiced with care, humility, and the deep understanding that life, in all its myriad and beautiful forms, is interwoven. As we stand here under the vast star-dusted canopy of the Kalahari night, the lesson becomes crystal clear. To follow the life of a Tswana herder is to witness the seamless unity of labor, ritual, and lineage. It is a life where sweat and blood, sun and sand, all combine into a testament of dedication, mindfulness, and profound respect. The herd is not merely livestock, it is a living chronicle of survival, a mirror reflecting the social order, and a powerful testament to the endurance of a culture that thrives under the relentless, beautiful, and unforgiving African sun. As night settles over the Kalahari, a blanket of quiet stretches across the sun-scorched plains. The wind carries whispers of the past stories of herders who walked these lands long before the fires burned in the kraals of today. Each hoofbeat, each rustle of the cattle reminds us that life here is a rhythm measured in patience, endurance, and deep respect for the land. The Tswana herder's day ends not with rest, but with reflection. The sweat and dust, the challenges of predators, the scarcity of water, and the constant vigilance over the livestock fade into a quiet sense of accomplishment. It's a life of subtle triumphs: a calf born safely, a lion kept at bay, a herd guided through parched lands to find a hidden water source. These are the small victories that sustain both family and culture. Let us pause for a moment. The fire crackles gently in the kraal, its light flickering across faces lined with experience and eyes that have seen countless seasons pass. In this stillness, the weight of responsibility and the grace of survival converge. Here, under the vast African night, the herder understands his place, not as a master of the land, but as one living in harmony with it. Rituals and rites, learned from elders and passed down to sons and daughters, anchor the herder firmly in tradition. They are a powerful reminder that life is more than mere survival. It is a dialogue with ancestors, a continuous conversation with the spirits of the veldt, and a profound lesson in humility and vigilance. The young ones, having walked the challenging paths of the day, will carry these lessons into tomorrow, continuing the cycle of care and understanding that defines the Tswana way of life. The land, the animals, and the people are inseparable. Each relies on the other in a delicate, sacred balance. The herd feeds and sustains the family. The herder guides and protects the herd. And the land offers both its challenges and its bounty. Droughts, predators, and rival clans constantly test the resilience of this bond. But through vigilance, ritual, and careful observation, life endures. It stands as a testament to human patience, ingenuity, and the deep understanding that existence is a balance of respect, care, and continuous learning. Let us pause again. The night deepens, the air cools, and a soft chorus of nocturnal life reses a distant jackal. The gentle hum of insects and the low murmur of resting cattle, these sounds, so ordinary yet so vital, are the lullabies of the Kalahari, whispering secrets of endurance, adaptation, and harmony to all who listen. In the final reflection, the Tswana herder's life is both simple and profound. It is a life measured in footsteps across sandy plains, in the careful tending of each animal, and in the lessons that are quietly passed from one generation to the next. Sweat, blood, and sun are not just hardships. They are the language of survival, the instruments of culture, and the very heartbeat of a people deeply attuned to their environment. As the fires die down and the herd rests peacefully beneath the vast, starry sky, there is a quiet understanding. Tomorrow will bring new challenges, new journeys across the veldt, new threats from predators, and new lessons for the young herders who are just beginning their walk. Yet, within this cycle, there is continuity, there is peace, and there is the quiet dignity of a life intertwined with nature, community, and ancestral wisdom. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more stories from under the African sky. Your support helps us bring these important narratives to the world. You are now under Baobab skies.